believe that this country has been led wrongly for a long time.
Okay.
I think the political elite has failed the country. We have delivered leadership far below what was envisaged at the dawn of our independence. And you would need a character that is strong, that is assertive, to disrupt the wrong things in political leadership that have brought us where we are today. You would need a character like Kennedy Agyapong to disrupt that and to usher Ghana onto a path that would lead to better governance of the country and give us a better country. I think the second reason is even more compelling because NPP, of course, we want to win power, but we were set up as a political party to help provide political leadership for the Ghanaians who are looking up to us. And so if we consider the fact that Kennedy has the character to make this happen, then we should have no difficulty in taking him to a people who are calling for him. When I say a people who are calling for him, the broad masses of Ghanaians out there who are saying that we believe in this man, so bring him to us and we will make him president. I think we would have responded well to them. And I'm confident that once Kennedy wins the primaries, he will win the main election and give NPP the opportunity to give this country the kind of leadership it has been needing for so long.
So you believe that Kennedy is the man to bring the NPP back to power. But talking about character, people have raised, issues with his temperament and they think he's emotional and all of that. Sometimes they think that for his candidates it can be I don't know, but they feel that he's too fearless and he criticizes when he has to take a back bench, and sometimes he being too emotional. Wouldn't that affect his candidate the chances?
What we are telling the delegate, and I'm going to say it now, is that it is precisely because of the things you have mentioned, the things you call his temperament. It is precisely because of his temperament and his character that some of us believe he's the man to lead Ghana at this point. See, Kennedy is not a perfect human being. I am not, and I know many others are not. So you are always going to find something that you wish he did not have. I mean, I wish Kennedy was Kennedy was not, if you like, as frontal and was less open about his views and had all the attributes that we have been raised to associate with a leader, that you do not respond to provocation. If there's something to be said, you need to be as cunning and as... Look, we have tried that kind of leadership. We have tried the gentleman, and you wear the suit, you wear the tie, you don't respond to provocation, and you are gentle. We were raised to believe that that is the kind of leaders we need. And so we remember the lessons in Sunday school. And it is a reason many people find it hard to look upon Kennedy's assertive character and temperament as a negative. It is because of our upbringing. But look, we have tried the things we were taught in Sunday school for so long. The gentleman, and you, if you're a leader, even though we are Ghanaians, you are required to speak excellent English. And the phonetics must all be on point. And so when you go to the United Nations and you speak English, everybody knows that, yes, that is Ghana's president. And we have been playing with these attributes, and the country is going down, down, down. When I say the country is going down, from independence, this is how we have run our country. We borrow to pay those we borrowed from yesterday. So we are always borrowing from new lenders to pay old lenders. In the meantime, every year we are overspending our means. So how can a country grow like that? The corruption, you go to the Auditor General's report, you see the irregularities. There are a lot of wrongs that have now become accepted in the public service. They've become accepted in the political leadership of this country. And you can make points and people tell you that, look, this kind of belief you have to go and be a priest. This is politics. So we have turned politics into a self-seeking enterprise. And then politicians wear their suits, they speak the good English, they come and go, and the country keeps going back. We're looking at our unemployed youth in the university, in the streets, and the educated, the youth we are educating in our institutions, they are all going to come out. Where are they going to work? The production sectors of the economy are not growing, and it is clear that if we walk this path, it's only a matter of time before the youth become a national security risk. So something has to be done, and it must be done now. Some of us believe that you would need a character like Kennedy Agyapong to disrupt the wrongs and the unhelpful status quo, and to set us on a path to a better Ghana.
Some people feel that sometimes he goes overboard. I don't know. There are others who also think that his past comments could come back to haunt him. Now, do you believe that he has evolved in how he communicates and handles political pressure now?
Well, of course, you can see that Kennedy, the way he relates to the public and the way he gets involved with these public discussions has changed. And I know it pleases many people that they're saying maybe a less assertive, a less upfront Kennedy Agyapong. But let me be honest, I'm not one of those advising him to tone down. Look, we need that strong temperament. We need that assertiveness, calling it as it is. There cannot be, it is so frustrating to be in government and you see people do the wrong things. And because we are all in the same party, we do not want to correct that wrong. And others look at that and say, well, if the other man is doing it and getting away with it, I can also do it. And then the wrongs deepen in government. It has become a political subculture across the political parties. We now need somebody who will do things different. And I think the temperament of Kennedy Agyapong is what we need. We need that no-nonsense temperament to let people realize that now the game has changed. If there are excesses, the burden is on him to deal with those excesses, and
But do you think there are excesses?
Of course. I wish Kennedy was not as upfront and as fearless as you describe. I wish some of those tendencies could be suppressed. All right. But what I am nervous about is advice going to him. I'm confident he's going to win this primaries. I'm sure he'll become president. What I don't want to see is Kennedy absorbing advice from be calm, be gentle, go and speak good English, and then he becomes like one of the politicians who have failed us. All right? So let's not throw the baby away with the wash water. Kennedy's temperament is needed. Ghana needs that kind of leadership, and let us tap that and use it for the benefit of our country and to create a better Ghana for posterity. And well, you can continue to advise him that maybe he should not say it as it is. He should be less, no nonsense. That is all okay. So long as we leave the Kennedy Agyapong temperament, we leave it as it is to be able to confront the dark forces in our governance space, the misrule and the misbehavior by political elite. You would need somebody to disrupt that. And look, the wrong things that happen in government and in political leadership, they happen because they benefit some people. You may have an honest politician, but would still fail because
of the system.
Because you are dealing with a system where people are fighting with their blood for their personal interest. You would need, if you want to confront and dilute and neutralize those unhelpful forces that continue to keep this country back, you would need someone with a character that can confront those entrenched forces. And look, people like Kennedy Agyapong, they come once in a while. I believe it. People like Kennedy Agyapong, the people who are truthful, who can say it as it is, they come once in a while. Britain had theirs in Margaret Thatcher in 1979. Ghana, we got ours under Kwame Nkrumah. I always say that the men of the UGCC, the initiators of our tradition, also believed in independence. And they actually sponsored Nkrumah to come down to support that. So let not anybody say anything to suggest that somehow we're not working at independence before Nkrumah came. But when Nkrumah came, he brought a new sense of urgency. Sometimes you need a leader who has a greater sense of urgency to say the right things must be done now. I am looking for a president who would have ministers, and when the ministers wrong, they remember their president and they are scared that this man, if he hears of this wrongdoing, he may go even, he may get me on phone and sack me on phone. We are sick and tired of the gentleness, the people wearing the expensive suit, designer suit. What has that got to do with leadership? That we have teeming youth out there who are looking up to us to provide them with good political leadership, build a better Ghana for all of us. And then we focus on people who can go to the United Nations and speak good English, people who can go to BBC. Look, politicians, we have lost our way. We have lost our calling. This country, the political elite has lost its calling. And you would need somebody like Kennedy Agyapong to reset what political leadership ought to be. Continue telling him to correct the excesses, but please leave Kennedy Agyapong with that temperament. Ghana needs it.
All right, listeners, I'm talking to the Honorable Kwaku Kwarten. He's a member of parliament for Obuasi West and former deputy finance minister and a senior member of the Kennedy Agyapong campaign team, talking to us a number of issues and a number that we're going to be unpacking this morning. In the last few hours or in the last 24 hours, the Bawumia campaign team called on Kennedy Agyapong to apologize for a recent comment, a video that has gone viral where he's branding the former vice president as a liar and all of that. I'm sure you know about that. Is he ever going to apologize?
I don't know. I've not had the opportunity to speak with him. He would make that decision whether he should apologize or not. What I know of Kennedy Agyapong is that he says it as it is. If I were the one communicating what he said, I probably would have sugarcoated it a little bit. But that is why I'm one of the gentle politicians. Sometimes you need people to say it as it is, and it is for him to look at what he said. And if he thinks that is not what he intended, he may well want to apologize. But I can't speak for him. And I think all the things Kennedy says notwithstanding, we must focus on the character he has that we need in political leadership to change the destiny of this country.
You were honorable. You were in government where Dr. Bawumia was the vice president, and you also served as the deputy finance minister. Dr. Bawumia is in the race this time. People have said that he was in charge of the economy and the state it was and what the country experienced. Some are using that as a basis to say for that reason he doesn't deserve to have a second chance and all of that. I am asking you, was Dr. Bawumia given the opportunity to spearhead and be in charge of Ghana's economy when he was the vice president?
Well, when I was in the ministry as the Deputy Minister for Finance, of course, Dr. Bawumia was on some occasions part of the decisions we made in respect of the economy. Nobody can take that away. I would not go as far as saying that he was the one in charge of the economy, but there is no doubt that he had input into many of the policies. And you see, knowledge that come to me by virtue of serving in that position ought not to be put out, especially around a discussion like this. So I won't mention specific initiatives, but definitely as part of the government, Dr. Bawumia was part of that government that made those decisions. All right. But you know what I find interesting about this whole point about whether Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was in charge or not in charge? It is part of the dishonesty that we have seen in politics, across the political divide again, that it is entirely possible on one occasion to say, government did this, it was due to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Government did that. GIFS, which is a subsidiary of the Bank of Ghana, deploys something. They say it was Dr. Bawumia. Gold for oil, we say Dr. Bawumia. It is only when it comes to the failed policies then we invoke this idea that he was not in charge. Look, I think politics can be more honest than that.
Okay.
We all know that a vice president cannot be responsible for all the decisions in government because he may have disagreed with some of the decisions.
Yeah.
But it is entirely wrong and hypocritical. And
so pick and choose.
And Ken, if he were to speak on this matter, may well use stronger words. And then we think he's rather the problem. Look, let's not. When I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia presented his nomination, completed nomination forms, he did make some points at the party headquarters. You go listen to those points. It is hard to look at those and to turn around on another occasion when we're discussing the failures of our government and then to say, well, he was not given the chance and he was sidelined. And look, let's avoid that kind of double speak, because you see, it weakens confidence in all of us as politicians. If we can be honest, the fact if Dr. Bawumia at all was in charge of something and he got it wrong, it does not necessarily mean that if he was looking for votes, he cannot tell people that, yes, I got it wrong, but if I have the opportunity, it will not happen again, and now understand. Or if you think that as a vice president, he was not ultimately responsible for the decisions of government, then you say, look, even where he contributed some ideas, ultimately was a decision of the bigger cabinet, it was a decision of the president or the finance minister. So we now want the opportunity for him to show his leadership. Then we know that you were sincere, but you cannot on the one hand be saying that he's in charge, and on the other hand you say, when I listened to some interview by some of the senior members of his campaign, and I said that, you know, all that contributes to the view of politicians as dishonest people, that people are uncomfortable entrusting the nation to us, the governance of the nation to us. and are beginning to walk away from the polls, as we saw in the last election, because there's too much doublespeak, there's too much dishonesty, and everything is about saying it how you look. Let's drop this. I think in the 2024 election, people voted, in my view, largely because of the kind of governance we delivered over the period that we were in government. People were unhappy about some of the things that we did. That is why we lost the election. My own view is that if we want to break the 8 years cycle, and we now want the NPP to come back after 4 years, we need to find a way of telling Ghanaians that the NPP you were dissatisfied with in the 2024 elections and either did not turn up to vote or voted against, that NPP has now been retired. There's a fresh, brand new NPP led by Kennedy Agyapong, led by different spokespeople and senior members who would deliver for you better leadership than we did the last time round. If NPP cannot communicate that, there's a risk that we will be playing within the 8 years cycle. And then we will be forgetting 2028. That is why I think we should support Kennedy Agyapong. We should put the past behind us. Let's not attribute the defeat to any one person. Let us accept responsibility that we lost the election together. But let us, if we think that any candidate would help our cause, let us put that candidate across in an honest way. Let us not pick and choose and create an impression that politics is a dirty game and any kind of dishonesty can go.
Right. Honorable, so let's talk about the happenings on the grounds. What kind of feedback are you receiving from delegates across the regions as the primaries draw closer? We have about 9 days to go. What kind of feedback are you getting?
Generally, the feedback we're getting, and I have been on the field myself. I've met delegates in many constituencies, and the feedback, it's quite clear that people understand it's getting power in Ghana is an 8 years business, and that is why some have said that ordinarily 2028 is not for the NPP. And the delegates know now that if they repeated what we have been doing in the past, what we did not do for Edubuahe, but we did for Kufo and did for Nanado. If we were to go along the same path, then we are looking at 2032, because next 2028 will not be for us. But people see the exit of the current president, and they think if the NDC would put the NPP would put their best foot forward, that we can pick up, we can win 2028. So the desire by our delegates to see the NPP win the next election, for me, is what is propelling Kennedy. But I think increasingly, because in spite of what people would say on the temperament of Kennedy Agyapong, there are many people out there who are saying that whatever his faults, this is the man we want to vote for as president. So bring him to us, NPP, and we would give you power. Now, this is also beginning to have effect on the delegates, because they are seeing in this race an opportunity to win 2028 general elections. And it seems to me that it is a reason, one, that Kennedy would win, but of course they are also influenced by the fact that Ghana cannot go on like this, and that we need a no-nonsense man to disrupt the bad things we've been doing for so long, and to set this country on a path on a path to a better future. All right. So okay. This point about we need somebody who understands the system and diagnoses problems and all the fine things we've been taught in Sunday school and has become part of our thinking of how a leader should behave. We need to understand that we have tried all these things. We have tried them, and they have taken us nowhere. Let us have the courage to abandon the things that have not helped us. That's the first point I'll make. The second, and it was again by one gentleman from Kumasi, and he says, we want Ken because he understands our hunger. First, if you look at Ken's background, all right, and he keeps saying, a poor boy from Asin Dumpim, rising to where he is inspiration for many people. But also, Ken, with all the faults that people would point out of him, is the man who has built businesses for people to do. And created jobs and changed the lives of people. I have had discussions with Ken when he has discussed some of his factories that are not doing well, and that those that are doing well are subsidizing the businesses that are not doing well. And what a normal businessman would do is to say, I'm closing down or I'm selling out the non-profit making ones, and then I'll keep the profitable businesses. Ken does not want to do that because he says, when I was going to look for the land, I promised the people of that community, even though I was buying the land, I promised them that if they gave me the land to buy and I put up a factory here, it is going to serve them. There are people who have been working here for 5 years. All right? You get up in the morning, you walk straight to your job. If I close down that business, what would happen to all these people? When a person has this mindset, it tells you how he will deploy national resources when he becomes president. And so the youth out there, they do understand that Kennedy is the action man. He may not speak the best of English. He may not want to wear a suit and a tie. And I keep telling people in my constituency that some of the designer suits and tie and spectacles, if you put the cost of that together, it can put up the foundation of a house. It will a dime foundation. And why we want our leaders to continue presenting themselves to us like that baffles me. But the youth are beginning to see Ken. He may not be as fine as you want, but they just want results. They want jobs.
Are you winning?
We are winning. And when I hear some of my colleagues,
a lot of prophecies have come.
Well, I don't pay that much attention to the prophecies. But what I can say is that, when we have all supported a particular candidate into the 2023 primaries, and when I say we, the members of parliament in 2023, the presidency, the party, when we have all supported a particular candidate, and we've taken that candidate to election, it's so hard for people to even contemplate that the party could change its mind. And especially those of us in politics who are not really feeling the hunger. A lot of us in politics, we don't feel the effect of our misrule and our misbehavior in government and in politics. We never suffer the consequences. Those who are suffering the consequences are now looking at us, and it is not as difficult for them to contemplate changing. That is why you continue to hear people so confident. And as some of my colleagues, I've been joking with our land right now, and they say in their offices in Accra, and they say, Ken cannot win. And I say, you're not even going to the field. The people out there, the polling station executives who want the jobs, they have changed their minds, and it would reflect on election day.
Finally, regardless of the outcome, how important is party unity after the primaries, and what role do you see Ken playing in that process?
Well, after the election, I think Ken will be the flag bearer, and I am confident that this NPP, we have demonstrated that we have the capacity to come together no matter how tough or how competitive the election that produced the flag bearer has been. And so we would repeat that. I'm very confident we will unite. More importantly, once Ken wins the primaries, we're going to deploy the kind of campaign message that would win us so much following from areas that traditionally have not voted NPP, that the 2028 election will be a much easier task for us as a party. I think the future looks good. There are a few unpleasant things happening. We will overcome these. I'm confident we'll overcome these, come together as a party, win power, and deliver for this country the kind of leadership we've never seen in the past.
Well, as a former deputy finance minister, I can't let you go without touching on the economy, the current economy. How do you assess the current performance of the economy?
Well, I think in many ways, this government has done some good things in respect of stabilizing the currency. I think this government has done a better job reining in expenditure and therefore keeping the fiscal stable, which reflects then in the currency. I think it is good, and we should commend especially the finance minister. I know his personal attitude, being the chairman for the budget committee in respect of these matters, and I think he needs to be commended. But that commendation should be given cautiously. Yeah. And the reason is this. We've been here before, all right? Yeah. We have had stable periods of economic stability. They have been short-lived. And anytime they are here, the politicians in power would jubilate and say, this is evidence that we've got it, we've turned the corner and all that. Yeah. And it's only a matter of time before the city starts showing the weaknesses that we have traditionally known. So we have been here before. So the real question we should be asking is, what is producing the stability we are seeing in the city and in inflation, and accordingly in inflation, and some of the positive things we are seeing,
and whether it's sustainable.
I take the view that expenditure reforms must happen.
Okay.
Where you get rid of entrenched expenditures that are not helping with the overall growth of the economy and the creation of jobs. I want to see those reforms. Now, I'm not seeing any.
Okay.
This government is not doing any of those reforms. It's a mere step of reining in expenditure for now. You can't do that forever. And so what I would say in respect of how this economy has been managed is that in the last 1 year, we have seen stability. My sense is that this stability is unsustainable.
Okay.
And I call on government, especially when the president is not running again in 2028, to do the reforms, make the tough decisions in respect of the wage bill, in respect of all the things we need to do to rein in expenditure in the long run, and also the reforms on the revenue side to ensure that we maximize domestic revenue. Ghana, in terms of revenue per GDP, is one of the countries performing poorest. I want to see the reforms on the expenditure side that would lift, would improve Ghana's domestic revenue.
Okay.
It is when I see those reforms that I would now be comfortable saying this administration has really done well. So far, I have not seen any, and we keep watching.
All right. Just before you go, somebody just sent this. It says you said something. I mean, they said the week Bawumia outperformed Mr. Kwarten in Obuasi West in 2024. Dr. Bawumia had 24,816 as against Kwarten's 18,586. Doctor had 6,230 more votes. Is this weak? Okay.
Oh, I haven't referred to Dr. Bawumia as weak, have I?
So the performance was weak or something. Yeah.
No, but all of us, both Dr. Bawumia and myself, I underperformed my own performance in 2020. Dr. Bawumia underperformed the performance of Nanado in 2020, it was something generally associated with the party. If I implied that other candidates, apart from Ken, are weak, it is in respect of governance. And I'm saying that we are sick and tired of the timid, weak leaders who come wear suits, and that we want this time to give the opportunity to a no-nonsense man who will disrupt the status quo and set this country on a path to a better future.
Enti abusuan na ne no best say obe like no share video we are the comments at the comment section na say